Okay. Hopefully the music's not too loud. So, basically, what I need to do is start prepping the next test build. Let's see. I really kind of should have Trello open here too. I'll just open up Trello. Okay, so at the moment that involves doing this and another thing that I'm going to do right now, which is this is a kind of a side task. It's not important, but color, like panel color copier. Anyway, so I'm going to do that right now. Hello, Vigardno. I hope you're doing alright. Like I said, hopefully the music's not too loud. If it's too quiet, I can make it louder. But the thing that I wanted to add really quickly is because I have a ability to like color the panels. Spoilers, this area. I have ability to color the panels however I want to. So if we like look at this panel here, that's really spoilers. We can't see that. So anyway, I have like the ability to set different colors for panels, right? Which is like whatever the color of these is, whatever the color of the tiles are when you're coloring them in, what's the like background color of the panel, and what's the color that it turns when it's solved. Which I guess I will solve it again just to show that. So I can set all those independently, and that's fine, and that's good, and that works. The issue is a lot of times I kind of just want a bunch of panels to be the same color, and I don't really have a good method for doing that. There's a couple ways I could do it. One is I could actually add like a puzzle helper panel here, rather than having these different things and have it have count and have it like have colors and let me set colors from it. And it would just set all of the things that I have selected that way to whatever color I want. The other thing is I could just do it on a panel for panel basis, which is where you select the panel and then you would have to lock it, and then you'd select like another panel, and then it would have a little copy colors from selected panel button here. I'm kind of liking to add a custom panel thing, and since I've done this thing when I was working on the controller stuff, I know how to do the custom panels, so it's not actually that big of a deal to do one. So I think I'm going to do that, and hopefully that works okay. That's my hope anyway. But hopefully you have your headphones now, Vigardno, and can hear the stream. But yeah, let's see. So the way we add another thing is the way we did it here, which is we have to inherit from editor window. So we got the puzzle helper menu here, which I think inherits from mono behavior, which is interesting that does that, but that's how it does it. So I need puzzle helper panel basically. So we're going to do that, and it's going to be puzzle helper panel. So that's going to be a new panel. Excuse me. It's going to be a new thing. It's going to inherit from editor window. It's going to have one of these, which is very simple. You just add this, and that's going to get added into puzzle helper. slash, I guess puzzle helper window is what I would do it as. So these are all puzzle helper, count select puzzles, count all puzzles, validate, okay. So it's going to be like show puzzle helper panel. Editor window. Yes, I need to use Unity editor. Okay, so this will happen and should have show puzzle helper panel. It'll bring up this panel. The panel is probably not going to do anything properly because it just doesn't have anything in it. So I don't know if there's a way to like name the thing separately, but I suppose it doesn't really matter. Let's look at selected. I know I need basically the color fields, which I can pull from the puzzle panel editor, which are going to look like this. Essentially, so we put this in on GUI. Oops. I need to... there's still some, like, keyboard shortcuts in here I need to unmap that I never use. Like the shortcut for twirling down a section. I need to get rid of that. So then this is going to actually have these things stored. So it's going to be color, base color. It's going alright. Luckily I have a 3-day weekend. So that's giving me time to work on getting this build ready. I could ship the build today probably if I just was setting the baseline of like that everything will work. But I would like to add some more things to the game before I ship another test build. So it's going to be color, base color, low light color, highlight color, solve color. I guess I just need to do this. So get rid of all the panel dots there. Okay, so I think update gets called on these. Okay. I don't really need to repaint it, but maybe I do, so we're just gonna put that in there for later. Okay, so that should add some things in there for different colors. Okay. So now I can pick colors. And I need two things. I need one that says copy from selected and copy to selected. I also need like a label field. So let's just do that. So that'll be like editor GUI layout.label, I think. Panel color manager. But yeah, luckily I have 3-day weekend, so I should be able to get some stuff done. Forgot a semicolon, which I do every day. And it's not label, it must be like label field. Okay, so there's the color manager, and then I need like copy from and copy to, and those are going to be buttons. Which I think is if GUI layout button. I think we just put the label of it, which would be like copy from selected, and then we'll have another one that's like copy to selected, which I may want to put actually lower than this, so that it's like not really easy to confuse them. Copy from selected, copy to selected. Maybe I should do it like begin horizontal. And just do it that way instead. Copy from, copy to. Okay, so then what I want is I hit this, and then it copies whatever the colors are on this panel into here. So that means we need to get selected objects, which I'm not sure how we do, but somewhere. Let's see, get selected. Maybe it's something like get selected. Maybe not. Maybe I can look through it this way. I'm actually not sure where this stuff would be. Editor build settings, game object utility, editor utility, code progress bar, open file panel, editor window. This is what we derive from to edit window. Highlighter? No. It's always so annoying to do this. Let's just say get selected object unity selection. So this should just be selection active game object. So that should be game object O is equal to selected dot this active game object. Do I need to? Okay, so that should be fine. So we'll go O dot get component puzzle panel. So this will be puzzle panel P is equal to that if P is not equal to null. Then we go in here, and we go P dot base color, low light color, highlight color, soft color. Okay, base color. So this would be base color is equal to that. Low light color. There's gotta be some easier way to like get rid of the. I guess you can do escape. Soft color. Okay, so that should theoretically work. I should be able to hit copy from selected. Selected does not exist in current context. Okay. What's selection under? Unity editor dot selection. Okay. I should have it because I'm using Unity editor. That's because it's supposed to be selection, not selected. Okay, so if I hit that, copies it in, and then I can copy it to something. Copy from selected. So that way I can go boom and get that, and then I can hit this and copy to selected. Now, copy to selected is a little bit different because I want to go through all of the things that are selected. Let's see. There's active object just to get one object. When working with objects that are primarily in a scene, it is strongly recommended to use selection active transform. Why is that? Because this will never return prefabs or non-modifiable objects. Okay. So instead I should do transform T is equal to active transform dot game object. Actually, I can do it this way, just in one line. Game object. Oh. And then I can get the component. So I don't even need that. I can just do it this way. I can just be dot get component puzzle panel and just be done with it and not have to make a temporary game object. So that would be basically this crazy nonsense right here. So that should theoretically work. Yeah, that works. Okay, so should be able to get a list of stuff from the selection, right? Contains, get filtered, get transforms. Turns the top level selection excluding prefab. So transforms gets all of them. Okay. So here I should just go basically for each puzzle panel P in selection dot act no what is it dot transforms. I guess I should do it transform T in selection transforms. Then I do this basically like we did here. Except that it's going to be like this. P dot, and then we go over here, get rid of these P's. So then we copy that over. So that should work. It's not something that matters super a lot right now, but it's a nice to have in a way. So I can copy from. I guess I should have it. I don't know. I feel like maybe it should just pull the selected always here and just display them. Like no matter what, it should pull that. There's probably some way to do that. Like to show a color but not actually have an editable color field. It might just be on GUI layout, but let's just look on GUI layout and see whether it's in there. Interesting. Apparently there's no good way to do it. Which is kind of annoying. But I guess I won't worry too much about it. It's just I kind of wanted to know like whether the thing was the same or not. Selection does not contain transforms. Because it's like actually kind of hard from there. I guess I can do it this way with like a secondary panel, right? Because then I can see what I'm looking at here versus that. This is locked though, I need to unlock it. So then I can go copy to, and I could actually do it for just all of them that I want to be that way. Because that's sort of the idea, right? Is that I want to be able to select a bunch of puzzle panels like this and just go copy to and have it set all the colors. Problem is it's not setting override color. Which is weird. In fact, I feel like I should get rid of this override color thing, because I feel like every panel should be override color, because they all are pretty much. So I'm going to get rid of the override color thing. I honestly don't think I have any panels that are not just pulling the color anyway, even if you don't have it. It's just like so I didn't have to look at the colors all the time, but I can do that better, so. So that'll get rid of override color being a toggle there, and they'll always be show the color, which is basically what I want. But it doesn't look like it actually went through and copied it to them all, which is annoying. Looks like it just copied to the last one. So I wonder why that is. Oh, god dang it. Because it should be a t.gameObject here, because I'm just going through the active on all of it. That would be the problem. So we'll try setting 2 again and see what it does, because it should set that and that now. Okay, good. So now those all get set. And this one's supposed to get set too. I'm going to put the little helper pane down here and just keep it down there. That way I have that visible. That seems useful. The question is whether I want to go in and fix the color of other panels in different areas. I have no idea why these are showing up gray. Literally no idea. Like that's showing up that way with black, and this one's showing up this way with solid color. Oh, okay, I see. Because I have 2 panel backgrounds right now. One's black and one's like solid color, so let's see, how can I fix that? I guess I can do this, where I just get panel background for all of them, and then go through here and set every single thing that's panel background to use solid color instead of black. So that should work. I still don't get an indicator in the editor what they're going to look like, but that's fine. Yeah. I could probably make it color them in the editor, but that's still wrong. That is not supposed to be that color. That's supposed to be this color. So there is something that I need to fix. Interesting. It's like not respecting the color there. And I don't know why that is. That's very strange. When I hit this, it's not respecting that color actually, for some reason. I'm guessing this is because like that's not getting set to dirty, and so it's not actually getting copied. I'm guessing that's probably it. So I probably need to do this to get it to actually properly copy. So let's see whether that works when I get it copied again. So if I hit copy to, that time it set it dirty, so it probably will have copied it into the object. Okay. Just weirdnesses of Unity's UI system. It's like you can set the object that way, but unless you set it dirty, it doesn't serialize it. So we'll have to reset all of these guys that we wanted to be gray. These might as well be gray as well. Okay. So we'll worry about color on everything a little bit later. Right now I need to do something else, which is a task that's more important. I think I need to set that to be no clip as well. So the problem is over in this area, besides the fact that I need to fix these two, so let me do that first. This needs to be, I need to turn off camera volumes. This needs to have its backgrounds hidden because I really need to just have solid tiles naturally turn off their backgrounds, but it's fine because those are supposed to look like that. So the problem with these is that weird that the color doesn't get set differently. I feel like it should be, but the problem is with these guys, like they're fine right here, but let me just no clip up here. I've got a sequence up here, and this is kind of spoilers, but I just need to explain how the sequence is supposed to work to explain why it doesn't work right now. So you're supposed to come here and have this panel here be the first one that you can solve, right? And already at that, it's kind of broken because like I can solve this one, right? If I wanted to solve this one, I could. You're probably less likely to because it's hard, but you could still solve it. But sort of the way that I wanted it to work was you solve it this way and you can go through, and obviously you can solve it another way, which is this way. But if I can just solve it right here, then there's no need for me to actually solve this one down here. Like, the idea of the sequence of puzzles was going to be, you solve this to go through here, you solve this to go through here, then you have to solve this to get back out here, so that you can then solve this way, and then go back through this way, and then resolve this. Excuse me, resolve this way, so that then you can go through this and go up here. So that used to work because you had to stand on a little tile in order to do all the panels in the game. Now I make panels, you can do them just when you get to them. So anytime you can see them, you can do panels. So like I can do these panels from here because I can see them. But I think what I need to add is I need to add back in a little thing that you have to stand on in order to power these. And I think, although I feel like that's a little bit contrived, it's not really any more contrived than making the panel disappear when I step onto the actual area here. So it would really just be a thing that I stand on, and then it kind of powers this, and I can see this, and when I step off of it, it looks like this. It goes away, right? I think that that's fine, and that's basically just what I want to do. So now I need to do that, which I think is on my, I think that is on my Trello. Here we go. Trello. That's done. And this. Yeah, it's right here. Fixed dice area, face area, wall, puzzle maze. Okay, so I've been wondering about, I downloaded this thing called Pomelo, which is a task management thing that goes on top of Trello and lets you basically pick a task, and then it gives you a Pomodoro timer, which is like a 25-minute timer, and so it keeps track of your time on all of your Trello tasks, which is kind of interesting, because then I can just kind of go through here and be like, okay, what's the thing I want? I'd have to change my list, which I think I do here. Switch to different list. So we would go to this. It's not perfect, but essentially you could do that, and then it keeps track of the time. I don't know whether that's necessary right now, but it's kind of interesting just to think about, because it does keep track of your time. But anyway, I might try that for a minute, but right now I'm going to take a really quick break, like just 2 or 3 minutes, and then I will be back to implement that thing. Okay, so, yeah, I don't know about this thing. Especially because, like, it's got to be on the screen. I guess I could put it there and it would be okay. But I think I'm just going to not do that. Okay, so the thing that I'm going to work on is a tile that powers panels. That means I need to look into what it is right now that's enabling and disabling that panel. Just when you're, like, standing on it, right? Because there's something that's doing that, and I don't know exactly what it is. I assume it's probably inside of Stefan. Yeah, okay, so is disabled is true. Gets set there. So let's see, how am I gonna do that? So I need another object, and it's gonna get linked to the panel, and it's gonna send a message to the panel to disable it, basically, when you stand on it. I used to have a starting tile thing, but I don't really need that. Let's see, do I still have that thing? Panel tile blocks, panel cover opening. I got a lot of prefabs here. Solid locked, additive. Panel tile block. We're just gonna go from puzzle panel tile. We're gonna pull one of those in to begin with. These have their own scripts. They have all this stuff, and they have solve. They got toggle tile. They got stood on, and then they've got this attached panel step on. And is stood on gets set to true. So basically, I only need all of. Yeah, that might work in and of itself, but I don't know. So we're gonna see if I just put one of those in there, what it does. Because basically I need a modified version of that that attaches it to a panel, right? Like if I take this, let's say we attach it to this puzzle panel 109. Where is that? Say we attach that to that. Okay, so that's basically what we got, except that I can click it, which I don't want. So it's almost what we want. But we need to make it a different script that's pretty similar to this. Essentially, it's just going to have this aspect here. And it's going to just do the opposite of this, where it's going to disable the thing when you are not on it. And when you are on it, it's going to enable it. Should be pretty easy to do. So let's just add a component to this tile here. And yeah, it should be fine. So we're going to add a component here, and it's going to be trying to think of how to even do this properly. I mean, this is the most basic way I can do it, which is to just disable the next thing, right? I can do it this way, either where it's this thing knows about the panel, or I can do it where the panel knows about this thing. Since I kind of want panels to be like powered by other panels, it might be worth just doing it on the panel itself. to where the panel has like a power source thing, and this thing's the power source. Yeah, I think I'll do it that way. That seems like the thing that's gonna be more useful in the future. Is basically just have man, I got too much crap inside of this class, really. I gotta start trimming it down at some point, but essentially it's gonna have public bool is powered. Well, let's see, is powered. Let's see, do I want to do disabled or I want to do powered? It's basically the same thing. But we'll go requires power equals false, because the default's going to be it doesn't require external power. I guess it will be requires external power. If it's true, then the power source is going to come from something else. That would be a game object, public game object, power source, right? Something like that. Power source. And then we can just do in update. All the way down here somewhere. Okay, so an update, we're basically going to go if, well, yeah, we want to do it. We don't want to worry about it if the panel's not visible, I guess. Probably. Yeah, something like that. If requires power, requires external power, then we go if power source dot is outputting power is false. There should probably be some kind of, maybe it should be a component that outputs power. Because then I can just have a reference to a component rather than having to get the component from the object. Not sure which is better there, but if it's not outputting power, then is disabled is equal to true. Else is disabled equals false. Basically, that's basically how it would work. So yeah, so we're gonna have a power source type thing, basically. So it's gonna be like this power source. That seems fine. So then we'll have this thing have a power source script. So it's going to be a component, a power source. It's going to have a public bool is powered, or no, is outputting power. I don't know. Something like this. So it has a component. Right now, it actually doesn't even really need to update or anything. It's just something that other things would set. Seems reasonable, but I'm not sure if there's a better way of doing it. So we got a power source. Just trying to think of how it's even going to work when I start wiring up the panels. Because if I do it that way, then it will require me to have a panel have a power source. And maybe that's not how I want to do it. Maybe I want to do like a separate object that's a wire so that I can like wire them. I guess I could attach power sources to them, but I don't know. I'm not sure what's the best way to do that. Anyway, so that's got a power source. We also need something that is basically just turn on player step, right? Oh gosh, this is annoying. I'm not sure how to do this. Because it's like another script for no real reason. Feels really weird. This is like a base tile color. This is like a really bad way of doing this. Let's add that to the editor for this thing. So we got all that. We got the color. We got hide panel background. All right, let's use solid tiles. So I need a thing that is it's like requires power source, I think. Isn't that what I called it? Requires external power. So that, and then if requires external power, then we want to have GUI editor GUI layout dot. I think it's object field. Panel dot power source. Something like that. Forgot a semicolon. Name requires external power. Does not exist in the current. Yeah, it's panel. No method overload for object field takes 0 arguments. Okay. See, that's GUI layout. I need editor GUI layout. Object field. The object field shows type of objects that can be assigned. So I assume I put I guess I do this. I go panel.power source and then type of object that can be assigned. It's just an object, so it can be a component, I suppose, which would be power source. Excuse me. Can that be type of power source? And what's this? True. Allows scene objects, yeah. Cannot implicitly convert object to power source. Okay. I don't know if that'll work, but we'll see. So yeah, I should have that, and now I should be able to lock that in and put that in there. Okay, so that seems to work. Now let's take this thing and call it a I don't know, it's like just like a panel powering button, basically. It's on layer puzzle starts, that's fine. It's gonna have to get made into its own prefab of some kind. Interesting that even though it does require this, and it's pulling from here, and it's not outputting power, it's still not disabling it, which is weird. So there's something weird going on. Let's log that. Not receiving power. Ah. And we'll call this is receiving power. I can't spell receiving for some reason. Anyway. So let's see. How did that logs? For some reason I'm getting null reference exceptions. So it's not receiving power. So it's definitely actually getting the thing that it's supposed to. It's just not actually disabling the panel for some reason. I bet it's enabling it somewhere else. It is disabled, is false, is being set right here. So I guess I need to do that at the end here. Like this. So that should theoretically work. Interestingly enough, it still doesn't work. I'm not sure why. It's really very strange. So I'm wondering why setting it here in step on to is disabled here works. Let me see where is disabled is getting set. Toggle mouse on. Okay, so the toggling thing sets it. Mouse on. Step on sets it. What's reading it though? Feels like something withdrawing it, it would be reading it. But for some reason, not. What is panel visible? Okay, so I don't really understand. If power source, if requires external power, if power source is outputting power, false, then we disable it. Else, if it is outputting power, we enable it. So I don't really get what's happening there. Let's see. Where is? So let's listen to something else. I always like listening to this. That's fine. Okay, so it's like giving me null references, but it's not. I don't really understand what is going on with it. Like if I disable requires external power, then it works, right? Is like that wrong? Is this thing wrong now? Oh, it's still called puzzle panel tile. Let's see. It was supposed to not be called that though. It was supposed to be called puzzle. Let's just call it puzzle panel power source tile. I don't know what to call it otherwise. I'm not sure why it's not working. Well, I understand there's a null reference on this, but that actually shouldn't matter. Okay, so if it's outputting power, it works. It's just not drawing it right for some reason. I don't understand why it's not drawing it right. That's particularly strange because its setting it itself seemed to totally work. Like if I go in here and I set all this to like is disabled. Well, first off, I can't set is disabled, but interesting. It's like it's still ending up enabled at the end of the frame. So it must be is stood on being checked somewhere instead of is disabled. I bet that's what it is. Yep. That's the problem, is I'm checking is stood on. Instead of checking to see if it's disabled, I'm checking if it's stood on here. Which is very strange. So I should really I should really just change this to be not that. Actually, I guess that should be if it's disabled. Interesting. Okay, so it works here. And theoretically now if I remove the power, okay, then it won't work. Then I just need to make it to where when you stand on it, it powers it, basically. I think I will just add it to power source, because it just seems better than adding like another thing. Seems just better to go in here, add another bool that's player stands on to power or something like that. And then we just because it's this puzzle panel tile type, it's gonna get this message of is stood on. And we also want to put it in late update so that it gets disabled. So it'll be basically like this. If player stands on to power, is outputting power is true. Stood on and that. Okay, so that should theoretically work. I shouldn't need this. The sprite color blender thing can probably be set up in some way that makes good use of this, but bool is stood on. It's false. I don't need to manually output power. Is outputting power does not exist. Oh, shoot. Didn't mean to do that. I just meant to not make it public because I don't actually need to switch it. So, is outputting power is... okay, I guess I do need public. Ugh. This is the annoying thing, is like there's no, as far as I can tell, way to expose something to other objects but hide it from the edit inspector so I don't see it here. It's like, it really doesn't matter, but... So theoretically, that should send messages to this thing when I stand on it, like this. It didn't unpower it, which is interesting. I guess I need to do this. So yeah, so that works that way, the way that I wanted it to. Except that it's not solving it, which is very strange. Oh, because it's not solvable. And then these will go like that. Yay! That's pretty much what I needed. Is I needed you to stand on a spot that powers this thing, and then you can do the puzzle. This is at the wrong spot vertically, though. That's because it's snap interval. Let's put it at a z value that is not actually where it should be. Okay, so puzzle panel power source tile. I guess it doesn't even need to be a puzzle panel power source tile. It can just be a power source. And that needs to be set on it, of course. So this will be power source. Yay! As far as a sprite renderer and all that, I don't know exactly what I want to call it. I guess that's fine, like the inner square part of the thing is fine. It's really more like one of these is what I want it to be like, where it doesn't do anything unless you step on it. But for now, this is probably fine. Oh, that's the snake tile. So I can use that for now. I guess it would just need what the what do these guys have anyway? Panel tile block. It's not that. It must be in puzzle panel tile. Yeah, the set Z offset thing is right here. And then in update it gets changed. Excuse me. That's kind of a polished thing, so I'm not too worried about it. Feels like that works well enough. You're going to come up at this and then step on that, and then this shows up. I feel like that that difference between those is a little bit too subtle, though. I probably need to make it more pronounced between those colors of the wall. Those are not getting set using these colors right now, which is probably bad, actually. Now that I think about it. Probably don't really want alternate colors there. I just kind of did them that way because it was easier. So right here, that's where that is. It's like the low lits are getting set that way. And I could make it darker by just setting this to be a different value. So I'm just ignoring what the settings are for the panel colors. That outline though is really dark, which is strange. Not sure why that is. Oh, because I do listen to the low light color. Very strange that I listen to one but not the other. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to disable all of this stuff, and then we're just going to kind of assume that it should all work. No matter what. Even if it's collidable, I do need to have basically this stuff set though. Like that needs to get set. There, because they behave a little differently when you solve them. Alright, see you, Vigardno. Have a good night, and try to get some sleep. So, let's see. Doesn't really look like what it was before. So let me see what the difference was. So I feel like I was doing something a little bit differently than that. I think I was just low lighting, basically. Okay, so that's why I did it, is because I low light instead of highlight the tiles. So like the edge color and the fill color, like there's no highlight color being used at all for these. I could set it to be dark though and use the highlight color. I think for now I'm going to do that way. Okay, so looks like those work. I just need to set it up to where this gets powered here. That way this can only be solved here or here, and then it can go here. Wait a second. Yeah, so that's got to go like that, basically. Solve this. Yeah, okay, that's why it was a little trickier. So I was like, I feel like this puzzle used to be harder. And then I have to solve this from here. And then I can go up here and resolve this way is the idea. Then I could go back down here and then resolve this way. Okay. Yeah, so that'll work. We just gotta basically add that to these. So this requires external power. We're gonna power it with this guy. Actually, I need to make a prefab of this first, which I can't do unless I pull the hierarchy out. Okay. So yeah, so that guy's a prefab. Power source over here, 2. And then I can just attach the power source. That little icon there is really hard to see. So attach that power source there, then we put another power source here. And attach it to this. There. So now that whole sequence should work the way it's intended to. And I, for consistency's sake, should probably add power sources to these panels as well. Now I need to probably, I'm probably going to have to add some more things to my helper panel. That will be like wire from to or whatever. And so then we like just want to know like that might work. I don't know, but you may be able to wire from to using the puzzle helper so that we could wire stuff up more quickly. But yeah, so I think theoretically that will work now. I'm going to take another quick break. All right. So at this point, I need to I don't need to do anything else. It would be nice to make these guys look a little bit more polished, but they don't have to be. I don't think the sprite color blender actually does anything on these right now. One thing that would be worth doing would be just making sure that they all work. So I actually haven't tested. Okay, so that works. Oh, I did want to copy all the colors onto the previous ones here, so that they all look the same. Send message toggle tile has no receiver. What does that mean? Then when I click it has no receiver. Player update object reference. Oh, I see. It's because I do all this and get the component. So I actually need to do for hit tile here. Do I actually even use hit tile for anything? Okay, I do. So we'll do this. If hit tile is not equal to null, we'll just do a null check. I guess I can just do if hit tile that way. Yeah. Toggle tile has no receiver, is what it says, but we're gonna see. Okay, so that still gives me no receiver if I click him. And his mouse on gets no receiver either. Okay, well, I'll just add those. Why not? We'll just go void is mouse on nothing. We'll go void toggle tile do nothing. So that should theoretically fix that. And we're going to get rid of those debug logs. Now I'm actually stuck because of the state of things, but I'd have to solve this way. Go through here, then I'd have to solve this a way that I can get through. I just feel like those are so hard to read the color on it because it's so light. Is the editor, not the puzzle panel. So I'm kind of doing it this way, where I'm checking if it's collidable. If it's collidable and it's off, then I did this, where I set the thing here, so it's just an alpha set, basically. Okay, so that's a little darker. So I should be able to go this way if I set that. Like, the important thing is that it's clear and readable, but it's also apparent what's going on. These need to get changed because the blue color is too dark on all these panels in this area. So I don't know what color to use, but I can fiddle with that. Base color is just too dark. Like, the best base colors for this area are basically right in the middle area here. They can be blue, but they need to be like this kind of blue, not that dark blue. But I feel like it might be more fun to make them like green or something. Let's see. Oh, that's my girlfriend's back. Hey.
Sorry.
Still sleeping. I don't think anybody's watching actually right now, though. They all decided that they weren't interested in watching. No, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, there's nobody watching right now.
Alright.
Yeah, I had one guy watching, but he decided to go to bed.
Oh. Oh shit. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Let's see. Low lighting color.
It's so cute.
Highlight color. We'll try like making them kind of greenish or something. Might be fun.
Oh shit.
Careful. Yeah, we'll make the base color a little bit darker. Just a little bit. That's kind of to me that's a better color or something than this, like, because this is just hard to see the dark ones. They're much harder to see than they should be, it feels like. That's pretty good. Problem is light, the highlight color there is pretty bright. So let's just dim that down. So they'll look like that, and then you solve it, they'll look like that. That's not bad. So then we can just select this panel, copy, and then we can select all these panels and hit copy too. Should I've set all of them. I could actually do all of them in the whole area if I wanted. But just these are fine. So we got those, we got these. I don't have the ability to set color on these guys, I don't think. There might be something worth adding at some point if I want to add a tint, but yeah, there's no way to actually recolor these guys. They're always just gray. Like I said, I don't mind the blue on these, but I need to tweak the base color to where it's a little brighter. If you're gonna do them. Yeah, that's not bad. So in that case, we'll just copy blue to all of these. And For now, we'll just make them all blue. And the beginning ones here will be blue too. I'm going to take this green and make these green. Because why not? Why not? There's no reason not to. So those are all blue. They should all be blue in that area now, except for the green ones. So those are all blue, and then those are green. I might want to make these a different color, but they're kind of fine being this blue color, but I might like making them something else. Maybe just gray is fine. Let's try doing those gray.
Oh, Jesus.
So we'll like do that. Oh, I can't do them from there. I'm gonna have to move over. So I need to see what they look like when they're not solved. Okay. So base always needs to be higher than low light. Selected. What am I looking at? Okay, then I'm going to copy it onto this because. What? It's not logged down, is it? No. Why does this not look like it's actually updating the base color? Normally that would copy to selected, wouldn't it? But for some reason it's not. I wonder why that is. There's something about this particular puzzle panel that doesn't like it. I bet override color is the problem. I bet that's it. I bet I'm still using override color somewhere. Color is overridden. So it's probably getting used somewhere. It doesn't look like it. So we're just gonna delete that out of the whole class. So that it's not something I even have to consider. It's possible it just doesn't work while the game's running, but I was almost certain it would. Seems like it just doesn't update that while it's running, which is weird. It's fine, but weird. So we're gonna look at that and say, let's say we want it to look like this, maybe. So for now, we're just going to do it the same color as the things around it. That seems fine. So then we're going to copy that. Yeah. So then we'll just do all of these puzzles in this area that way. Yeah. So those are all set. next thing to do, really, actually, it kind of finishes my audit existing areas task. Would be to build this dot face area. But for now, I think I'm going to take a longer break and then do that. I may or may not stream when I do that later. But that'll be the next thing to do, is to build that out and integrate it in with the existing areas, which is something I'm definitely going to figure out how to do, because these areas are going to have to get like shifted around to accommodate like this many more puzzles, right? But anyway, if you've enjoyed watching the stream, I'd like to thank you for joining me. If you really enjoyed it, then I would certainly recommend that you check out the Patreon and maybe support me working on this game. But even if you can't afford to throw $1 a month or something like that at me, then there is a blog for the game. That's just taiji-game.com, and I write about the game on here, so you get to hear about kind of the progress of the game over time and such. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and I will see you all around on the internet. Have a good one.